Hello, dear followers. You are watching the channel TM Astronaut. Today we are talking about a very interesting topic. Mysteries of the city of Mohendzo Daro. Let's go to Pakistan, where the mentioned city is located, to learn about its past. We will get to know its building infrastructure, culture. We will try to interpret how the city suffered from the mysterious destruction. Mohendzo Daro was a city of the Indus Valley civilization. It is located 32 kilometers from the city of Larkana and 80 kilometers from the city of Sukkur in the state of Pakistan. Mohendzo Daro is located on land that has a tropical hot desert climate with hot summers and mild winters. The highest recorded temperature in May of the year 2010 is 53.3 degrees Celsius. And the lowest in January of the year 2006 is minus 5.4 degrees Celsius. Mohendzo Daro has also been placed on the UNESCO list of World Heritage Protection. It was built around 2,600 years before Christ. The city was abandoned around 1700 BC. Most likely due to the change in the course of the Indus River and its overflow. The famous city was discovered with his group by the British archaeologist John Hubert Marcel in the 1920s, who was the leader of the excavation. Experts have not yet deciphered the language of the Indus Valley civilization, so the real name of the city is still unknown. In the Sindhi language, Mohendzo Daro means city of the dead. The town of the same name was built according to the urban plan with a network of streets. The materials used for the construction of buildings are bricks made of baked mud, bricks dried in the sun, and bricks made of burnt wood. The city had a sewage network built for the disposal of wastewater, as well as many buildings with 2 floors on buildings and swimming pools. The pools were quite well built and lined with a layer of natural tar, which was able to retain water due to its sealing. The sheer size of the city and its provision of various facilities indicates that the social community had a high level of social organization and responsibility. The city was divided into 2 parts, the citadel and the lower city. The citadel is an earthen embankment about 12 meters high. It contains rooms with public baths for bathing and a large residential building that accommodates about 5,000 people and 2 large meeting rooms. Here we see the so-called tiles, from which buildings with bathrooms were made. Tiles are bricks and tiles made of baked mud. The mud was mixed with sand and straw to have better structural properties. This mixture would be placed in wooden molds and dried in the sun. Mohendzo Daro was also an agricultural city and had a large market with a well. Some groups of households got water from smaller wells. It had buildings built with underground water heaters for heating water. This mysterious city was destroyed and rebuilt several times, at least 7 times, most likely due to floods caused by the change in the course of the Indus River by overflowing its bed. But the new claims of the investigators are surprising. David Davenport and many like him have made incredible claims that the ancient city was destroyed by nuclear weapons. They cited verses from the Mahabharata to support their claims. A Gurkha flying in a swift and powerful Vimana threw a projectile charged with all the power of the universe. A blazing pillar of smoke and fire, shining like 1,000 suns, rose in its majesty. A vertical explosion swelled with clouds of smoke. The cloud of smoke formed wider circles, as if giant umbrellas had formed. It was an unknown weapon. Iron lightning giant messenger of death who reduced to ashes the whole race of Vrishnias and Adakas. The bodies were mutilated beyond recognition. Their hair and nails fell out. The pottery broke without a visible pattern and the birds turned white. After a few hours, all the food was poisoned. Fleeing from the fire, the soldiers jumped into the stream to wash themselves and their equipment. All supporters of this theory point out anomalies among the material remains found in the city of Mohendzo Daro. For example, skeletons of people were found lying in the middle of the street holding hands in poses that indicate sudden death. Many were buried hastily. There are no signs that they were physically harmed. Blows. They remained well preserved, regardless of the fact that they were exposed to decay for thousands of years. Some skeletons showed that family members, parents and children, were hugging or holding hands as they waited for death. At one point stands the epicenter, a place near which there are crystalline remains of various objects. They look molten as if they were exposed to high temperature and the molten mass solidified quickly due to sudden cooling. Russian scientist Alexander Gorbovsky claims in his book Riddles of Ancient History that 44 skeletons found in the Mohendzo Daro area have 50 times higher radiation than normal. Many archaeologists do not accept that this city was destroyed by nuclear weapons, but they do not have an answer as to how the destruction took place. About 4,500 years ago, the city of Mohendzo Daro was created, and its present-day remains are located in the territory of Pakistan near the city of Larkana. At the peak of its development at the time, the city reached up to 40,000 inhabitants. It functioned for about 1,000 years. The remains of Mohendzo Daro were discovered by archaeologists in 1911, and with that began the excavations that are still ongoing today. Did nuclear explosions really destroy ancient civilizations? The physics chain reaction of the division of an atomic nucleus struck by a neutron into 2 equal parts of equal mass, followed by the emission of gamma radiation neutrons and the release of large amounts of energy, was discovered. In the same year, scientists Leo Szilard and Albert Einstein informed the then-American President Franklin D. Roosevelt that such energy could be used for warfare. The beginning of the 20th century was marked by wars caused by people, destruction caused by the weapons of that time, and especially the invention of nuclear weapons, which release the destructive energy of mass destruction, which in a few seconds eliminates life at the place of its action. While studying ancient civilizations, scientists found data that such weapons and energy were used in ancient times. The found remains of ancient cities contain traces and anomalies that indicate that they were exposed to nuclear impacts. British researcher Pat Clayton, while driving through Libya through the Sahara Desert, heard crunching under the wheels of his vehicle. That's when he noticed a glass that was named Libyan glass. It is one of the mysteries that has not been solved. Why, in order for the sand to turn into glass, requires a temperature of at least 1815 degrees Celsius. Experts comparing the traces from the Libyan desert and the traces from the ground in Alamogordo, New Mexico, where nuclear tests are currently being carried out, found that the nuclear tests caused the same effect. The sand exposed to high temperature turned into pieces of glass. In relation to the size of the area where the glass was found in the Libyan desert, the power of the ancient weapon must have been 10,000 times greater than the power of the first atomic bomb tested in Alamogordo, New Mexico. For some pieces of glass, experts claim that they were created by an asteroid impact. That theory was quickly rejected because craters that would have been created by an asteroid impact were not found anywhere. Libya's mysterious glass is 99% pure and transparent, unlike glass created by an asteroid impact. You must be wondering if we started the modern age with modern technology, or if the ancient civilizations before us were already capable of sophisticated life. The remains of ancient cities show that the buildings were quite complex and that it was not easy to build them in a primitive way during construction. Some advanced technical means had to be used. Various drawings were found on the walls of certain buildings that show symbols and landmarks and events from the era of ancient civilizations. And among them are drawings that show unusual depictions of mysterious beings that meet ancient people, even drawings advanced technical means of helicopters and spaceships. Ancient civilizations may have had encounters with visitors from space. Alexander Panov, chairman of the Council for Astronomy at the Russian Academy of Sciences, recently shocked the public by claiming that we are not alone in space and that it is not a question of whether there are any in general, but where they are. Panov says that he believes in the existence of extraterrestrials and that other intelligent species avoid direct contact with us and that they visited us in the distant past. Panov also believes that astroarchaeology is very important and that research should also be directed towards the lunar sphere so that more detailed representations and research can give us more precise and greater answers about ancient civilizations. The moon is the celestial body that is the brightest after the sun. Its light is reflected and does not produce it like other stars. Scientists believe that the moon was created by the collision of planet Earth and some other planet while the solar system was still in its formation phase. Russian scientists claim that the moon is a base for extraterrestrials and that there are secret rooms inside where extraterrestrial beings reside. The theory about the hollow moon has been around for a long time. Apollo proved that theory at the end of the 60s of the 20th century. Seismic sensors were placed on the moon and earthquakes were caused. After that, the moon rang for several hours. On Earth, the effect would probably be different. Based on that, many are convinced that the moon has empty space inside. NASA did not come to that conclusion, and admitted that earthquakes last longer on the moon than on Earth. Everyone agrees that the moon is still insufficiently explored and enigmatic. When we will directly come into contact with aliens, or we are already receiving signals from them and we cannot recognize them. Unknown aircraft appear all over the world. We are probably not alone in space. What are the intentions of the aliens, good or bad? We will find out. Historical research shows that our ancestors were already in contact with them. Ancient aliens transmitted knowledge to former civilizations. The answer is that ancient civilizations had advanced knowledge and technologies. The assumption is that visitors from space have shaped our lives. It is possible that man is part of their experiment. Scientists believe that planet Earth is a reserve where other civilizations isolate us and follow our development. When we change and are not aggressive and more humane, maybe they will join us. Probably the experience with ancient civilizations led him to be more careful with human beings. Will the human species be destroyed like their predecessors, or will they realize in time that life has a high value? Think about it. Dear followers, greetings from channel TM Astronaut. That would be all we have prepared for now. See you next time with a different topic.